Well, hello there. It's me, Angie. Okay, y'all got to come in here. We have several things we need to talk about. Now, I know when I say that we have things to talk about, your curiosity gets up. Well, when it comes to women, and several men may watch my channel too, but when it comes to women, we like to gather together and discuss things. I don't know if men do that. They say they don't, but they probably do. They're probably a little bit louder than we are. They don't keep it top secret like we do. Like if we have a circle of trust between women, we kind of keep it within that circle. Sometimes one of the women want to step outside the circle. And what a lot of men don't understand is once that happens, it's like, okay, well, we still love them, but we can't trust them like we used to. So we have to keep them informed on what we want them to know and not everything that we know. Now, I know that sounds cruel, but it's the absolute truth. Women are like that. That's what makes women and men different. Now, men will tell you that they don't gossip. Oh boy, that is so far from the truth because they do. Now, we women, we will acknowledge that we do. That we tell things to each other that we say, now, I don't want to gossip, but I need to tell you something. Hello? It's gossiping. Well, here's the thing. A lot of times when I'm telling something, I want to know that it's the truth. I just don't want to gather information that someone has just talked about somebody and just, they don't know if it's true or not. And really, what you think about me is none of my business. That's the way I look at it. I'm really not concerned about what someone thinks about me or how they feel about me. I would rather them get to know me before they base an opinion on how they feel about me. And I'm a firm believer that everybody can't like everybody. I mean, let's think about that for a moment. If everybody liked everybody, what responsibility would that be? I mean, that would be a huge responsibility. Now, if you think about the word responsibility and break it down, and I heard someone do this one time. Responsibility is the ability to respond to your circumstances. Well, when I heard that, I thought, I'm free. All I have to do is just respond to what's going on in my life. And that's really all it is. Responsibility is your ability to respond to what's going on in your little circle. It's not for you to take care of the whole world, or somebody else that's not even a part of your life. And you say, well, I feel like they're my responsibility. Well, no, not if they're not in your circle of things that you need to take care of. Because the first thing you need to take care of is you. You need to make sure that you're healthy and taken care of. Because if you're not, you can't take care of someone else or meet their needs or whatever. And I'm sure y'all have listened and watched many talk shows that have said these very same things. But here's the thing. When women become friends, and really true friends, they want to help each other out. Number one, I want you to come clean with me. I want you to be honest. What I realized as I was growing in my 30s, mostly in my 30s, people don't want the truth. They act like they want the truth, but they don't. But I've always wanted people to just, what you call, shoot it straight. I mean, give me the truth, because that's the way I always was. I wanted to just be honest with you. And that's what I wanted, for people to be honest with me. Because I can tote it. Whatever you give me, I can tote it. If you're negative toward me, I can take it, because I'll chew on it a while and think, now, is there room for that to be said? Do I need to change that? Am I really like the way this person am I really like the way the person perceives me? Do I act like the person that, when someone perceives you, it's their perception is your reality. Whatever you perceive, that's your reality. Now, whatever I perceive is my reality. And that's what makes people see things totally different from each other. Now, a lot of people want everybody to like them. I want you to respect me, but I don't know if I want everybody to like me. Now, that's a deep conversation right there. One that we can't get into today. But just give that food for thought. Would you want everybody to like you? I don't know if I would or not. Now, when you go through life, what I found out in 54 years is you only have a handful of friends. Mostly, I would say 4 that you can truly say are friends, that you can fully trust. And I would say 2 at the most that would have your back if something serious happened. Like if you got accused of something that you knew that you didn't do. And because, I mean, I'm going to tell you something. People are Ficky. Did I say Ficky? People are fickle. They will turn on you in a minute. And you have to understand that about people. They'll run to this one for one thing and run to that one for another thing. And I'm fine with that. Because I can normally read people like a book the minute I meet them. And that doesn't mean that I don't like them. That just means that I know where I stand with that person. And you can like that person without ever even really giving it a second thought of whether you and that person are ever going to interact as far as let's go shopping together, or let's talk on the phone, or let's get to know each other better. But sometimes when women become friends, they are really cruel. And that was one thing that I couldn't tolerate when I was out in the working world. Because when I worked at the bank, and we've discussed this before, my job at the bank, I worked with a bunch of women. And you talk about a hen pecking party. Now that's the thing. These women were wanting to see which one was going to lead all the other hens. Now me, I didn't really care about it. I was just wanting to go up there, do my job. I wasn't up there to make friends. I was up there to make a living. Well, you can't do that when you're around a bunch of women. They will not allow it. Because they want you to get involved. You have to take a side. And here I was saying, look, there's no side. I don't have an opinion on anything that's going on personally with any of these women. It's their life. They can do what they want to with it. Oh no, you can't have that stance. Because then you become the enemy. And I didn't really understand that. Well, there again, it was fine. I mean, if that's the way they wanted to do and act, that was fine with me. But I'm here to tell you, when you're out in the working world, understand this. Most of those people that you work with, when your job is over or you leave that job, you're never going to see those people again. So you don't really have to worry about, number 1, impressing them. Number 2, trying to solve their problems. Because, a lot of times when we become friends with somebody, they have something going on in their life, and you want to solve it. Now, I mean, I say, okay, that's fine if you want to offer up your advice. But I would always wait till they ask me for it. Because, man, what a responsibility that is. And another thing, when a male and female or any relationship is having problems, do not get involved in that. Because immediately when those 2 people make up and they decide that they're going to be together again, you again become the enemy. You're the one that said this and did this, and you chose a side. Don't choose a side. Stay neutral. I know that's hard. I know it's hard, but try to stay neutral. Okay, now, within the last 8 minutes, I've thrown a lot at you. Like, man, where was she coming from today? Why is she telling us all this? I really don't know. This was just what was going on in my head this morning. Why am I thinking all this stuff? About friendships, about how we're supposed to handle friendships, about things that we need to do for ourselves. Did I take care of myself like I should have? Did I not take care of myself? Is that why I'm like I am today? In a wheelchair? Did I not see the signs that were coming before this disease showed its wicked face? Where did I go wrong? I often think about that. But the more I think about it, I realize, wait a minute. I was doing everything I could to take care of myself. It just so happened that I stepped out my back door and broke my ankle. Well, I believe that when I broke my ankle, it activated this autoimmune disease inside my body, that it was laying dormant, that it was in remission. And then when I broke my ankle, the stress of that made this autoimmune disease raise its wicked head. And I believe that's where it all started. Now, whether that's true or not, I'll never know. But in my heart, that's what I believe. Now, I think to myself, I can't even remember ever what it feels like to walk, to be able to walk like everybody else does. When was the last time I walked by myself? And I have to really think about it because I have been struggling to walk for the last 3 years really bad. Now, I went from a boot where I had the foot drop and I walked independently with a boot on my right foot. Then I went to a cane. I walked on a cane for a while. Then I went to a walker, a rollator, and then I went to a wheelchair. And it seemed like it went pretty fast, but really it was a slow process. It wasn't overnight that I just went to a wheelchair. So I can't really remember the last time that I independently walked, but I do know it was at the library. I do know it was there when I worked at the library that I walked. Now, I do remember the last time that I drove a car. I do remember that and what it felt like, the independence that gave me. I don't have that anymore. Now, if I stopped and thought about the things that had been taken away from me, I would probably get really, really down. But I can't do that. I have to go forward. I have to think about the things that I still can do. And I often think about, now, sarcoidosis is in my spine. I have neurosarcoidosis. Now, what if it would have taken my hands away from me instead of my legs and feet? Now, that would have been truly bad. Like, I think you do more with your hands, arms, upper part of your body than you do with the lower part of your body. Now, don't get me wrong. It's very frustrating when you can't use your lower extremities. But then I think, what if I couldn't use my upper extremities? Eat, wash my hair, brush my teeth, wash my face, put my makeup on. Now, how would I handle that? Now, right when I was getting diagnosed, I had a friend of mine, and I would say, let's just say an acquaintance. And she and I went to church together. And she was having problems like I was. So we talked on the phone one day, and she told me what symptoms she was having. And I told her what symptoms I was having. Well, she got diagnosed with ALS. I got diagnosed with sarcoidosis. Now I think about it. This lady had 2 young children that were not even starting school yet. I think the youngest one was not. She may have been in kindergarten, preschool. I'm not really sure. They wasn't very old. Now, here's the thing. When I got diagnosed, I had grown children. I had seen them grow up. I had been involved in their life. I had taken good care of them. We went on vacation. I was there every time they were in a sport event. They played sports. Every time they got an award, their college graduations, their high school graduation, I was able to go to every one of those, and I was ambulatory. I could walk. Now, this lady has been diagnosed with ALS, and she has small children. So every time that I want to get down, and let's just say what other people call it, a pity party, I think about her, and I think, oh no, there's no reason for me to get down. This woman has been diagnosed with ALS, and she probably won't even see her daughters graduate high school. Now, I can't predict that. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, and she may, and I hope she does. But here's the thing. Somebody's going to always have it worse than you. Always. So when you're sitting around, and I'm not saying you don't have a right to feel bad for yourself sometimes, but I try not to. I try to look at the positive side and say, okay, I'm still alive. I still get to see my children. I have a grandbaby now. I can make videos for YouTube that my children will view even after I'm long gone. My granddaughter will see this. There are things that I can still do. Now, there's things that I can't do that I wish I still could. And I was thinking about it this morning. When was the last time that I danced? Because I always loved to dance. And I remembered it was at my daughter's wedding with my first cousin, who is the one that has the tree farm. And he and I were dancing at my daughter's wedding. And I never knew that that was going to be the last time that I actually danced. Now, what you don't understand is I had my rollator. It wasn't very pretty, the dancing, I can tell you that. But I was able to move my hips, a little bit of my legs. You know, I never dreamed that was going to be the last time I danced. So the next time you're doing something, enjoying yourself, do that. Step out. Live your life. Dance. Sing. Do things with your children. Go places with them. Share your life with them. Let them share their life with you. Don't just work all the time to try to make ends meet. Now, I know nowadays that has to be done. But really be present in your children's life. Because one day you're going to look back and think, I'm so glad that I did that. I'm so glad that I just stopped to smell the roses. And now that I've become wheelchair bound and in the state that I'm in, I realize that smelling the roses is a lot better than going around trying to please everybody or do what everybody else wants you to do. Just do what's in your heart to do. Step out and try to understand that you matter. The things that you feel inside are real. They matter. Let your kids know how you feel on the inside. That's what I'm trying to do. Let them see the part of me that they probably didn't see when they were growing up. Because when you have to be a parent, you can't always let your guard down and let your children see where you're vulnerable. You have to let them see you're in charge and you got to take care of things. Well, now that my children are grown, I can let my shield down a little bit and let them see that I used to be a teenager. I used to do things that they probably did as a teenager that they can't fathom in their mind ever seeing me do. There are things that I enjoyed when I was young that they probably don't even realize, because when they were growing up, I devoted all my time to what they loved and what my husband loved to do, not what I loved to do, because I loved them. So every day I wake up, I think, okay, number one, let's be positive. Because some days when I wake up, I don't feel like being positive. Like this morning, did not want to be positive, but I switched around and now I feel fine. Now, am I able to do that every day? No. And you know what? It's okay. Now, let's don't be so serious. On a lighter note, look at this. This girl needs a haircut. So I text the young lady that cuts mine and my husband's hair, which comes to my house to do it because I can't get into her shop with my disability. She tells me she doesn't have an opening until December the 1st. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to go through Thanksgiving with this. So, in the next few videos, if I've got this hair thing pulled back, curled under, ever how I have it, just remember, I've tried to get a haircut. Now, I know a lot of that is not going to matter to you, whether I do or not. But it matters to me. So, maybe until after December the 1st, I won't get my haircut. It could be down to my shoulders by then. Who knows? And that's fine. We will deal with it. Okay, that's the lighter note. So, I will say this. Now, when I come on here to make a video for my channel, I do a lot of this. A lot of it. Which may make sense, it may not. Now, the other videos that I have about the cooking videos, going places, you may enjoy those more. But I have to have a filler, to fill in when I don't have places to go and can't get out. Because today in Mississippi, it is raining. My husband's working. And it's fixing to get chilly here. I think the high today may be like in the lower 50s, which I'm loving it because I love cold weather. So, here we go. If you could just put up with these little filler videos, there are great things to come. So, with that being said, like, dislike, subscribe, comment, hit the bell so you'll know when I'm coming back on with all this chitter chatter. And I'll see you next time, neighbor. Bye, YouTube.